press, live off the press. Shout out to my boy Terran the Black. Make sure y'all sub up to Terran the Black. He gave me this alley-oop. Make sure y'all sub up to him for more content like this. All right, so this one right here is DOJ Epstein Investigator says Epstein was CIA and grapes occurred while Clinton was on the plane. So now they're putting Clinton in this, and they're saying that Trump is covering up. Trump is covering up for someone. All right. So we're going to try to get this real quick as much as possible. This one is a strange one, people. Why would Trump be, why would Trump basically be covering up for someone? They're trying to, I'm going to say this, like I said it yesterday. Trump's the sitting president currently. Of course, that's like compromising, the state of America. So I don't believe, of course, his name's not going to be mentioned on that level, allegedly. So I'm not even going to. You already know it, Phoenix Rising. Shout out to you. Yeah, most definitely. We're going to get into it even further. We're going to get into it even further, but what I have to do is I have to do it whenever I get off of work or whatever. But this one right here is an interesting one, people. Let's go.
That he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA.
He was a CIA.
A CIA informant. They're saying Epstein was a CIA informant. All right. And I'm, like I said, shout out to my boy Terran the Black for bringing this one to me, man. Let's keep going.
He's not blaming himself because there's nothing there.
I'm just reacting in the building.
Because Trump's not saying it's a hoax of the case, like a hoax or something like that. Now you know it's not a hoax. It's been on the plane now, many times. It just was never on the plane with the kids. I've seen the itineraries and I've interviewed all of them. There's never been any since Trump was on a plane with these kids. And the rape occurred. That can't be said for Clinton. That can't be said for others.
All right, let's read it. This guy's name is Glenn Prager. He's a known DOJ investigator. It says, let's go back. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a grape occurred. Trump been on a plane, how many times. It's just he was never on a plane with the kids. So they definitely trying to, they're trying to get Trump out of this, because remember now, Trump was, like I said yesterday, they've been showing a lot of videos, a lot of pictures with Trump hugging and kicking it with Epstein. My homeboy, he sent me a picture yesterday. He was showing me how somebody put a statue out in front of the Capitol building. I'm not sure if it was the Capitol building, but it's definitely in D.C. Somebody made a sculpture of Epstein and Donald Trump holding hands, okay? So go figure, So basically, people are trying to link those two together. But the thing fresh off the press, the information fresh off the press with this investigator is that no, it was actually Bill Clinton who was involved with this stuff. I'm gonna just say allegedly, on my platform. Let's keep going.
Been on the plane now, many times. It just was never playing with the kids. I've seen the itineraries and I've interviewed all of them.
Put it on 165. That's a little
with these kids and the rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton. That can't be said for others.
Overheard at Phoenix Airport on September 8th, 2025, a senior Justice Department investigator who personally worked on the Epstein case tells all. Glenn Prager, who has reviewed Epstein itineraries and has interviewed Epstein's victims, drops a bombshell. He says that the DOJ did not want to go after Epstein because he's a CIA asset, that the evidence from his investigation confirms that Bill Clinton was present for alleged rapes on the Lolita Express, and that President Trump was not present for the rapes that Glenn Prager investigated, but that he is protecting a lot of other people that were.
How about this whole...
So Trump is protecting other people. Well, who could he be protecting at that level in politics? He's the head of state. Who could he possibly be protecting? He could be protecting everyone below him, right? He's at the top with it. So everyone else beneath him, when it comes to politics, whether that be Senate, Congressman, whatever, who's he protecting, allegedly? All right, let's keep going.
This whole thing.
I worked on that case. I used to interview all the victims. And my picture was 20 to 30 victims in Palm Beach that I was interviewing and dealing with. And then we would go ready to go to trial. And and they would flip. Epstein just pay off, and they were just like little kids. They pay off their family. They're all broke kids and poor families.
Paying these kids off after allegedly raping them.
Nothing. In that kind of stuff.
Prager there describes how the victims that he interviewed were paid off by Epstein right before going to trial. Prager has worked as an investigator inside the Department of Justice for over 20 years. According to Prager's LinkedIn About page, it says that during the tenure at DOJ, Prager served as an inspector overseeing sensitive investigations involving major DOJ components, including the FBI, DEA, Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Marshal Service, ATF, and the U.S. Attorney's offices. This seems to corroborate what Prager told us. He was tasked with interviewing Epstein's rape victims and investigating flight logs. On his backpack in the airport, we spotted an embroidered FBI patch, which caught the attention of our citizen journalist.
I'll tell you this, because no, it's not talked about yet, but I've seen him come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA.
He was a CIA.
Although
Make
many
sure
have
we subbing up
suspected
to
it
the
be
channel.
case, this is the first time a Department of Justice official has confirmed that Epstein worked for the CIA and is a foreign asset.
So DOJ.
Foreign asset. Worked for the CIA. Yeah, man. I mean, it makes sense. It makes even more sense because when the man was arrested, this last time he was arrested, he ended up allegedly hung, and dying from strangulation.
70 kids, they were just letting him, do house arrest. They minimized his arrest. Part of that is because...
Hey, this is coming straight. This is from Keefe Media Group, a independent journalist, all right? So, say what you want to say. Hold on. Let me make sure we, if you're going to be speaking in here, let's make sure that you subbed up to the channel because y'all love coming in here just talking, bro. We ain't doing that, all right? Let's go.
Thumbs kept on flipping, and they didn't have anyone to go to trial with. More importantly, part is they didn't want to go after him. He's a, he's an asset for the United States and Israel.
The most important part is that the DOJ didn't want to go after Epstein because he's an asset for the United States and Israel for the CIA. All right.
CIA. That's what it was. That's why he was paid for this.
And the people turned a blind eye about all of this garbage. And Epstein was and what he was doing in the United States. Of course.
Garbage that he was doing in the United States. He had a lot of secrets.
He had a lot of secrets, with more about Israeli stuff. And so, like, this Prager guy, when he's talking, for the majority of the moment, like, he's trying to clear Trump's name, and he's basically giving up praise. I mean, not praise, excuse me, wrong fucking word, sorry. He's basically saying, hey, Clinton was more involved in the allegedly, and Trump was never present for those. He said, okay, he's a sitting president currently. I'm just reacting, people. I'm just listening. I'm just reacting. I'm doing what I know best with my common sense, right? He's the current president. Of course, they're not going to put his name in nothing like that because that weakens our system. That makes it look like a compromised state that we live in. People are giving out information on a sitting president opposed to a former president who they're saying is going through some ailments currently. Go figure. All right, I'm just talking, people.
Glenn Prager, the Department of Justice investigator on the Epstein case, then talks about whether President Trump was involved. Many are trying to tie Trump to Epstein, but what Glenn Prager says is that Trump wasn't present during the inappropriate sexual behavior that he was investigating. What Prager does...
They claim that, that Trump's involved that he wasn't. I mean, I've seen the agendas. I've seen the agenda.
All right, let's keep reading because I know I'm driving and I'm trying to do multiple things at once. They claim that Trump's involvement in the grapes and all that stuff, he wasn't. I mean, I've seen the agendas. I've seen the itineraries.
And I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. That can't be said for Clinton.
Hopefully y'all can hear that. I think they're on a plane or some shit like that, or like sitting in public. But basically they're saying that can't be said for Clinton and it can't be said for others. And they're assuming that Trump is covering up for someone. I'm just reading, I'm just listening, we're just talking, we're just reacting. All right, let's keep going.
And it can't be said for others. I remember that it was being killed because I know Clintons were on there.
The Clintons were on there.
100% the Clintons were on there. And while the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were grapes that occurred.
while the Clinton's on the plane, there were rapes that occurred. And I'm saying Trump, although as many places there were and all that kind of stuff, and on the island and all that stuff, he was never there during a single alleged.
Once again, here goes another Trump reference. Trump was never there during a single alleged rape. All right, let me make sure we driving accordingly. All right, let's keep going. But Clinton for sure. Okay. All right, so this is a continued process where they're, the guy's repeating himself basically. He keeps saying this about the Clintons.
Clinton for sure, and that's where the big cover was.
The Department of Justice investigator inside the Trump Justice Department says that while Trump may not have been present during the crimes that Prager investigated, it is clear that Trump is, quote, protecting a lot of people.
I don't know what's in you that I've never seen that he's so hesitant to now show what's going on, and releasing all those files. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people.
The citizen journalist boarded American Airlines Flight 1634 and landed in D.C. Monday at 8 o'clock at night and proceeded to go to dinner with this man, this DOJ investigator, at a restaurant called Blue Duck Tavern. Glenn Prager dislikes the fact Trump said the Epstein scandal is a hoax, but he also says, according to the evidence from his investigation, that Trump is not covering up for himself.
Trump's not saying it's a hoax.
Jesus, he's getting a lot of YouTube notifications.
You know it's not a hoax. He does a lot of stupid stuff. He's been on the plane, many times. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids. People want to tie it to him and say he's covering for himself, but he's not.
Now, this is a very good thing for President Trump and seemingly exonerates him from many people who claim that he was doing something inappropriate himself. This dinner went on for an hour and 45 minutes as this Department of Justice investigator revealed things to a stranger that the leadership of the FBI and the Department of Justice has not. Prager revealed more information about Trump's hesitation to be fully transparent with the Epstein case, gave us some details about internal gripes against FBI Director Kash Patel from within the FBI, and he detailed a developing feud between Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi. If you'd like to see more of that conversation in the restaurant, you may subscribe to OMG and find it on our website.
Who is like the one name where you're like, oh my God.
So if you want to see more of that, this is from the Keefe Media Group, OMG website. Do your research, people. Go check it out. I didn't drop the story. I'm basically reporting on the story that was reported on already. I think a lot of people, like even the guy that came in and had something to say, right? Like, people want to get sensitive about things like this because it involves presidents and political, political references, people that, were involved in politics, even sitting presidents or whatever. But don't we want the truth? See, sometimes I'll be feeling like a lot of people don't want the truth, right? A lot of people just want to, they want to live in a comfortable, non-judgmental, non-confrontational world. And that's not the world we live in. That is not the world we live in, man. There's going to be confrontation. There's going to be speculation. People get to say whatever they hit. And so that's another big thing coming down the line right now. People all talking about, what's that word? People want to talk about freedom of speech, right? And I think that we have a right to know, right? Like, I think we have a right to know what's going on with our government and the people within government, man. So let's keep going, man.
Here he is. Hey there, is this Glenn?
Yes.
You work for the Department of Justice.
Now, this is O'Keefe Media Group confronting Glenn Prager, the investigator from the DOJ, Department of Justice. Let's go.
No.
You don't work for the Department of Justice. You had a patch on your backpack that said FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, in the airport.
Yeah.
And you talked about how you interviewed the Epstein people, all the Epstein victims. Do you recall that conversation?
I didn't. No. No. How can I help you?
I wanted to confirm that you, in fact, did work for the department. Hang on the phone. Let's try calling him again. Glenn?
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
I'm not talking to you.
You already did speak to my friend.
Well, he like, hey, look, we already got the drop on you because you already spoke to somebody that I sent your way, okay? So this guy does his own private investigations, in regards to journalism or whatever. And he's already got the drop on him. So I'm assuming that, like you know, it can be one of those situations where it could be real or fake. But from what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, it doesn't seem too far-fetched.
Okay, now stop talking. I don't know who you are.
I'm a journalist. I need your help, sir.
I'm not talking to you or any journalist about anything.
You interviews the Epstein victims.
I can't talk to you.
On the heels of releasing the story, I wanted to emphasize just how touching it was for me to see Erica Kirk stand on stage in front of those 74,000 people in a stadium and say that she forgives the assassin who killed her husband, Charlie Kirk. I actually took this photo standing right in front of her when she did that, and I wept. The people standing next to me also wept. In the couple days that followed since that Sunday, it dawned upon me that equally as important as forgiving those who trespass against us is for those of us, the living, to achieve justice and accountability for the bad actors behind the scenes corrupting this country. We must have a Department of Justice that is actually about justice. If we do not have any accountability for bad actors, good people, even God-fearing people, are going to resort not to forgiveness, but vengeance. We cannot allow that to happen. And the only solution is exposure, journalism, sunlight, as the best disinfectant. When the leadership in our government is not forthcoming and transparent about matters they should be, you will see men on the front lines, men on the inside, like this Glenn Prager guy, who are familiar with the files, familiar with Epstein, familiar with who's on the airplanes. Indeed, he's the guy who actually interviewed all the victims in Palm Beach. Well, you'll see people like this be forthcoming and honest when their leadership isn't. I recognize Prager's life is now changed forever. You might be tempted to focus on that and focus on him personally. We have no doubt that no matter how much proof is provided by me, the powers that be will deny, deflect, personalize, and cover all of this up. You may wonder how it is these guys in our government so brazenly open up to total strangers in airports about national security secrets. Please note, this isn't about him or Glenn Prager. It's about opening the floodgates of honesty from other men who are just like Glenn Prager.
Some people can't hold on to secrets.
We're just following orders. Prager lived with these secrets, and the horror of what he knows lives on his conscience, the weight on his shoulders. He lives with the guilt for knowing the truth. That is why he was so forthcoming in public in the airport.
Yeah.
That is why others with national security secrets will continue to be so forthcoming to our army of citizen exposers. And there are many more out there like Glenn Prager. And now, right now, you who are watching must come forward.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, man, when stuff like this starts happening and occurring, people gonna crack, man, because they might hear things, and they gotta tell somebody. It's itching away at their freedom, man, because there's, first of all, let's keep it real, there's kids involved, there's sick adults involved. People do talk about all kinds of different conspiracies, right? So we're gonna report on it, man. I'm having fun doing this, whether or not it ruins my career in media, just talking to people like this, shit. I'm gonna say what I got to say, and I think a lot more people should do the same thing, because that's how we get to the bottom of things. But a lot of people want to, they don't want to take what they hear and be able to decipher it for themselves. They want to just hear things and just, disregard it because they feel like it doesn't benefit them. But in the long run, it'll be detrimental to us all right? Other than that, it's your boy L Boogie Reacts. We up out of here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We will get back to it either tonight or tomorrow, whenever then, and we'll play more clips, react to content. And until then, hug your loved ones. Get your silly ass up out of here. I ain't from Africa, man. I'm from America, yo. I'm a North Carolinian. Now, you, on the other hand, we know your people, boy. They might be from all different types of places in Europe and all kind of shit like that, but not I, says I. Not me. Not your boy, no. Other than that, appreciate y'all, man. It's your boy L Boogie Reacts. We up out of here. Salute to y'all. Hug your loved ones. Let them know how much you love them, because tomorrow's never promised. And until next time, we out. Salute.